Hey guys, how's it going? Crazy Miller here. So I just wanted to run through button layouts and button settings in Halo 5, and hopefully it'll help people, especially newer players that are just getting into Halo 5, or people that want to just improve in Halo 5. Definitely check out all of the different controller settings. The one that I would most highly recommend for controller players is to go ahead and look at the button layout for Bumper Jumper. Bumper Jumper, I've been using it since Halo 3, and with Halo 5, Bumper Jumper is without a doubt the best button layout in the game. Some people are able to use Recon and stuff like that, but I would recommend, if you are just getting into Halo 5, or if you want to try and improve the most in Halo 5, definitely switch over to Bumper Jumper. It's going to take a while to get used to, but I would highly recommend trying to get used to it as best as possible. Just go into custom games and practice with it, and practice to get better with it until you're comfortable enough to where you're not pressing other buttons thinking that you're trying to jump and stuff like that. The reason why Bumper Jumper works so well in Halo 5 is because when you need to jump, you're pressing the bumper. You're not taking your thumb off of your aiming to press any of the other buttons. You'll never have to take your thumb off to crouch like some of the other button layouts. Let's see, there's Recon here where A is your jump button. So you're constantly having to take your hand off to hit the A button, or you have to use a claw, like clawing your hand over, so you'd have to take your pointer finger here and bring that over to press buttons, which I sometimes still claw for Bumper Jumper because it does help a lot, but I would not recommend using claw. It's not very comfortable for a lot of people, and a lot of people don't like using it. So with Bumper Jumper, jump is always on my left bumper, so I can jump whenever needed. And for certain button combinations, which I will demonstrate in this video here, certain button combinations, being on Bumper Jumper just helps a ton. And your melee button, your melee is on your right bumper, as you can see here. So the only time you really have to take your hand off is when you need to sprint, which I have an Elite controller, so my sprint is actually on my back paddle here, and then my other paddle here is on X. So sprint and thrust are both back here, and I'll show you why the sprint is very important to have back here in just a second. So other than that, I just need to switch weapons and to reload, which I can afford in gunfights to take my thumb off of the thumbstick for aiming to switch weapons and to reload. So that's why it's super important. Just another thing to look at with the settings here, make sure that you have toggle crouch off. I will show a button technique here in a second that if you have toggle crouch on, it will interfere with that. So turn that off. Clench protection, just turn it off. Auto stabilize, turn it off. And I'm going to show you why with the stabilize feature in just a second. And then vibration I always have off. My controller doesn't drift, so I have dead zones at 0%. If you put your dead zones at 0% and your crosshair is moving across your screen on its own, then adjust your dead zone to the point where it doesn't drift. It's called drifting. So make sure that you're not drifting. The auto stabilize, if that was on and I jump here, it would automatically stabilize me at the top of my jump, which is pretty frustrating because you'll jump into a gunfight and you'll be aiming and it'll automatically stabilize you like that. So with Bumper Jumper, it's either you have to press the A button for your auto stabilize, or like I said, I put it on my back paddle. So my back paddle allows me to I can stabilize myself by just jumping and then pressing the back paddle. So auto stabilize, if I have that on and I jump, it's stabilizing me in mid-air. So if I were in a gunfight here, let's say, it would just stabilize me like that. And it's very important to want to be able to stabilize yourself for certain situations. Like if you're falling off a ledge, you can stabilize yourself and then thrust back to catch yourself on a ledge. But there's a jump technique that involves the like the stabilize feature, which is very important. So a little map change here, just because I want to show off some of the jumps and things that you can do with the button layouts that I was talking about for the bumper jumper. One of the things is when you are stabilizing, you will gradually fall to the ground. But one thing to take note of is if you spam the crouch button at the top of your stabilize here, you maintain the same height in the game, right? Which is going to be really huge for getting to certain ledges. If you jump to the ledge and you stabilize and you just mash your crouch button like that, you can clamber that ledge up there. So this is a very useful technique for getting all the way up here on the top gold. Very useful in matchmaking games to battle off other teams here. So if you just try to stabilize and get up there, you may not be able to get it. But if you jump and you do the stabilize by pressing the A button with bumper jumper, then you can get up there. I want to show off another technique. It's the thrust slide jump technique. So the thrust slide, so if you thrust and then immediately slide and then jump, your Spartan gets a lot of speed and momentum, and you go really high in the air. So to get to that ledge up top there, if you're sprinting, you thrust slide jump and then stabilize. You see how high I was up in the air? I could reach that ledge very easily. The only thing that stinks about this is that when you do this, you burn your thrust. So if you have to get to top gold very, very quickly, you can be sprinting, thrust slide jump, and then stabilize yourself as soon as you jump. So it's a very tricky button combination, but once you get that down, so let's say you spawn over here in Tram, right, and you need to get to top gold very quickly, you can be sprinting, thrust slide jump, and then stabilize yourself to get up to this ledge very quickly. And then you're right here able to fight anybody that's in this area. That's just one of the few ways to utilize this technique. This ledge right here, you can't just jump and grab onto this ledge during a game, right? But if you were sprinting and you jump and stabilize and then mash your crouch button to maintain that height, you can reach this ledge pretty easily, just like that. So it's a nice easy way to get up to nest area without having to jump over here to the truck and then jump up, or if you're on this side, having to jump over onto these and then jump up, right? So there's a lot of jumps on the map. Maybe I can make a jump tutorial and showcase all of the jumps. I mean, there's a lot that even I don't know because I haven't played in like 2 years. I'm getting back into the swing of things, and I really want to start making helpful videos because I know that there's more and more players that are getting into Halo 5 that may not know jumps and such like that. With consistency on grabbing ledges too, there's like this ledge right here. Either you can jump onto the machine right here and then jump up, or if you do one of those stabilized jumps, you can get up to ledges like this. So there's many ways that you can utilize these techniques, and I hope that you guys check them out. One of my favorites is that sprint thrust stabilize, just to be able to get to other areas of the map quicker, and there's certain ledges where you almost need to use it to get up to. Hopefully this video helped you guys. If you guys do make the switch to bumper jumper from another weapon layout, feel free to let me know in the comments. Let me know if it's helping. Like I said, the biggest thing is going to be taking the time to get used to button settings. If you guys were on other button mappings, these button settings are definitely going to be in Halo Infinite. So just prepare yourself for the next game and continue to improve your gameplay. If you guys ever have any questions or comments, you can leave them down below, or I stream every day on Twitch from 8 a.m. Eastern until 1 p.m. Eastern. So that's a 5-hour stream. Feel free to come through and ask me any questions. We have a very friendly, positive environment, so feel free to come in and ask anything that you'd like. All right, thank you guys. See you in the next one.